Hey, bro! Bro!
Bro! How are you doing, man? I've been waiting for months to do this spin-off show. Do you have anything for me or not?
Dude, I can't even make my own deadlines. I don't have time to write a spin-off series for you. Besides, why the hell would I help you? You stole my camera for Comic-Con.
Well, you shouldn't have left your house unlocked with the opportunity for me to take it.
The door was locked.
Well, you should have got better locks.
Alright, fine. You want to know the truth? I don't think you're qualified enough to do a show by yourself. You handed me your resume, and I gotta say, the most impressive thing on it was that you once smoked pot with a guy who kinda looked like Brian Fair.
I also wrote for riffmag.com. Come on, man, give me a chance.
Alright, look, I'm still kind of burned out from the last video, and I'm drawing a blank with this next band, so if you want to take the reins on this review and you do a good job, maybe I'll think about giving you your own series.
That's all I'm asking for, man. So, what's the album like? Melodic death metal? Grindcore? Post-ironic? Sumeric rapcore?
Actually, it's the new one from Helloween. You think you can handle that?
Yeah. Sure, I could do that.
Well, in that case, good luck. I'm off for a dump. See you in 20.
Alright, man, I got it from here. This just ain't for me. That's what I'm talking about.
Better. How am I gonna start this one off?
Helloween is f***ing awesome.
Like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone when the morning comes. But when the night is over, like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone.
In the book of power metal, Helloween's chapter would have to be the whole book. Helloween was formed in 1984 and is considered probably one of the most important bands in power metal history. Now, although some other bands have stayed consistently better in quality and product, Helloween has created some of the most classic metal albums in history, including Keeper of the Seven Keys Parts 1 and 2, and Walls of Jericho, which you may see referenced on Monday nights.
Walls of Jericho here!
They've released 14 albums to this date, not including the 2 Gamma Ray albums, which are, come on, they're Helloween albums.
Sometimes we need to be
The band's sound in the early days was really defined by Michael Kisk's amazing vocal power and the band's overly positive tone, which was a real contrast to a lot of other heavy metal acts who were going on at the time. Kisk would leave the band in '93. In fact, there have been about 12 lineup changes in the band's history, and the new single would be polarizing, to say the least. It's a lot like when Udo Kier left Accept. A lot of people were skeptical, thought that they could never capture the same sound again. And since Accept's proven that new material can be just as good, if not better than their old stuff, what did Helloween do? They kicked ass is what they did. Andy Darris came from the band Pink Cream 69, which also happens to be my username on several not safe for work websites. And he brought an entire new singing style to the band and an insane amount of enthusiasm, plus a new songwriting style. In their last album, Seven Sinners, every member of the band wrote songs individually, lyrics, music, everything. This album, though, Straight Outta Hell, was meant to show a more positive sound, like much of their early work, and let's face it, a lot of Seven Sinners had a lot of people crawling under their beds. It was a tad aggressive for those of us who want peppy, happy power metal, so that's why Helloween's back with this one, so let's check out the newest from Helloween, Straight Outta Hell. Now, as a song itself, this is a pretty epic one. It does give a good idea for how the album is going to sound. It's a little heavier than the older stuff, but with the same feel to it, the same dynamic, which made Helloween popular. You know, this band promised that this album would kick even the most casual listener's ass, and I gotta tell you, I think they're doing it right now. And you may be thinking to yourself, Nabatia, what exactly is Nabatia? Well, that's where my expertise comes in. So everybody turn your history books to page 666. Let's get intellectual up in this bitch. Kingdom of Nabatia was a political state located between the Sinai and Arabian peninsulas from 37 to about 106 AD. Trajan conquered and annexed the Nabatean kingdom early in his reign, spreading the culture of the civilization within the Roman Empire. It effectively hid the culture for many years. Only until the early 19th century, people actually dug up and discovered artifacts from it and established that it was from another civilization. Helloween wanted to cover this nation in a modern work because the history of the region is actually pretty fascinating. It's thought to be one of the first democracies ever established that wasn't in Greece, and it's also one of the few nations that doesn't have any historical records about going to war with other countries. Then again, this was before anybody ever discovered Canada. So, now you know, and knowing is half the... Oh wait, I used that joke already. It's great to learn.
'Cause knowledge is power.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Warfare, the only solution for your stupid problems. Soldiers marching out for your revolution.
Now, for those of you who haven't actually heard Helloween in recent years, you'll be sure to hear a new singing style, because what Andy Darris lacks in a 3-octave vocal range like Kisk had, he makes up for in pure aggression and energy. World of War. You know, if we name the next song Arkham City, we can call this album Games Pat Sucks At.
I heard that.
Nobody cares. This track's pretty good too, and I think what makes it good is that it's such an aggressive track with such a powerful bass behind it, and it's against war. There's actually a track-by-track commentary the band released to go along with this album, and I'll be using it as a reference for some of these songs, this one included. See, they mentioned that the subject of war has been more or less a business in recent years, and this song is supposed to describe that because of money, when it's for money, everything seems to be good enough.
Exactly. Exactly right.
There is one thing that kind of bothers me about this. It sounds like Darris kind of stubbed his foot before he sang the chorus. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but this was all I saw. Ugh.
Live now. Live now. Sing it loud.
As opposed to Die Later. Yeah, this is the epitome of cheese for me, and honestly, it's the weakest track on the album so far. Not exactly in tone itself, because it's a pretty catchy song. Nonetheless, when I hear lyrics that say, "Don't say you're too scared up high, life needs no wings to fly," even I'm reaching for a boff bag.
He shows disdain for all this world.
This is by far my favorite track on the album. I love the drums, I think the guitars really shine throughout the solos, and this is where the music takes everyone's doubts about Andy Darris, takes it out back and pulls an Old Yeller on it. This is a great song. The chorus on this song is one of my favorites to come out in any power metal band in the past 10 years, and the solo and bridge doesn't take you out of the motions. It's definitely a high point for this album. The only thing I could do to ruin this is possibly by putting after it a silly Bon Jovi style track about getting into a fight with someone's girlfriend.
Sometimes I'm tough and bold, just sometimes I am frightened. Sometimes I'm dull and cold, but sometimes so enlightened.
Flag on the play, technical foul, total loss of momentum, wussy piano-driven rock song, 10-yard penalty. I mean, this one totally takes me out of the album right here. I was really enjoying it up until now, but this is just a little too distracting for me. I heard a lot of people like this, but I was getting into the whole power metal craziness, and when you totally ground it with a really mediocre piano-driven song about a guy psyching him up for a fight he's gonna have with his girlfriend, I mean, no!
Here I am, waiting for the thunder, waiting for the pain, waiting for the rain.
I mean, the chorus is okay, it's just the rest of the song is really boring. And again, I guess it wouldn't be a Helloween album without a couple of stinkers here and there. Plus, I heard this song was written by Andy Darris when he was drunk, so it explains a lot. There's a couple of ballads on this one too, and they don't really do much for me. Not so much that I don't like ballads, it's just when they're done right, they're really powerful. These just don't seem to go anywhere for me. I mean, Darius is still holding his own and showing off a lot more range than I thought he was gonna, but it's really not holding my attention too much.
He's a man looking down on the people. He's a prick you got to really call evil. Cannot be stopped.
Here we go. I don't know what this is building to, but it's gonna be good.
I don't wanna be an angel. I wanna be God.
Oh man, with a bass like this could break out into something cool once the instruments come back in and the change paces. This is gonna rock. It's over. What? It was a 2-minute track that went absolutely nowhere. Why would you even include it in the track? And worse off, it sounds like its main inspiration was We Will Rock You. What the hell were they thinking? That's exactly what they were thinking, wasn't it? Yep, Wanna Be God is a tribute track dedicated to Freddie Mercury, and if you actually listen to the song with that sort of mentality, it's pretty good. I mean, I just wish it fit into the next song, like how We Will Rock You fits right into We Are the Champions. Actually, that doesn't fit so well anyway, it's just kind of there. But maybe they did a good job afterwards, and I'm still talking about this, aren't I? Let's move ahead. The band said this song was going to play with some heavy metal cliches, so you know what? Let's see how many songs I'm reminded of here. It's time to play a quick game of Count the Cliches.
I roll the dice. I know that something strange is coming.
Iced Earth.
No ace to play. I live my life with no protection.
Motorhead.
This road to hell, and I won't find no resurrection.
AC/DC.
Cause I will sell my dirty soul to rock and roll.
Black Sabbath.
I'm cold as ice. I always take it as it comes.
You're as cold as ice.
As for the song itself, it's another okay track, but when you dissect it, it's alright in its construct, but not exactly in its content. And if you think I've been harsh so far on the album, trust me, strap yourselves in, because this is about to go from just okay to downright stupid.
I never saw you going straight. You line right into my face.
Now, I got excited when I first saw this in the track listing, because I thought it was a Dennis Leary cover.
Everybody, A-S-S-H-O-L-E.
And I was terribly wrong.
You're an asshole. You're a sucker. Sucking out energy.
This just plain sucks. I mean, aside from the fact that I don't like the instrumentation, the tone of singing, or how it seems to bounce around with no careful logic or reasoning, these lyrics are the absolute worst I've ever heard from these guys. You know, even the worst tracks on this album, besides this one, still have some pretty good lyrics, some thought-provoking imagery, some sanity or reason. This has no reason to exist. The song reminds me of another song, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
You're an asshole.
Straight up now, tell me, do you really wanna love me forever?
Okay, there is one positive thing about this. Whenever I hear the chorus, this is the only thing I think of.
Don't touch me, motherfucker. Don't touch me.
Really not much to say about the rest of the album, except that it's not bad. Church Breaks Down is pretty damn good and talks about all the crimes the church has committed.
This calls for divine intervention. I kick ass for the Lord.
It's wrap-up time, right? Yep. So here's the good, the bad, and the ugly. For the good, this album's a bit of a return to form for Helloween. Last couple albums have been experimental, to say the least, and this one's a true return to what made Helloween a force to be reckoned with in the heavy metal community. What it does right, it does very well, and it's very memorable and enjoyable. The first time. Which brings me to the bad. It doesn't have a lot of replay value. Other than Burning Sun and Nabatia, I don't really mind missing the other tracks on the album. The ballads are okay at best. The slowest songs really drag on or just don't go anywhere, which is a weird difference to have. And the songs that try to get deep and emotional end up usually bordering on boring. And for the ugly. Asshole, really? I'm serious here. This is not only the worst Helloween song I've ever heard, they probably put out the worst power metal song I've heard in a really long time. It's annoying, it's repetitive, it's one of those instances where catchy does not equal good, and it's only memorable for stalling the album dead in its tracks. It's like eating a steak and really enjoying it, and then in the middle of the steak finding a wolf. It's going to be a shock to say the least, and if you try to carry on, it's going to leave a little bit of dent in your mind, like, did I just almost eat a wolf?
Do you actually listen to yourself when you speak, or do you find you drift in and out?
So while I'll admit there are some parts in this album that absolutely make me cringe, I'd say all in all, it's okay. The first half of the album is practically flawless, and some of the tracks here and there have little sparks of genius thrown in. But the album as a whole is a tad lopsided, and it's very apparent they were trying to go for something fresh and original without alienating their fan base like a lot of people felt with Seven Sinners, but when they strayed from the path, they did create a couple of hiccups in the writing process. But it does prove that the band is always looking for a way to evolve and create material rather than give you the same thing over and over again, which is a lot more than I could say for a lot of bands that have been around since the 80s. I would say the album is pretty good on its own merit for the first half and definitely worth a listen until about track 7. Just do me a favor and for the love of God, skip over Asshole. So until next time, I'm Eddie Classic for Pat's Metal Reviews, reminding you, life is too short to listen to bad music.
Did you spin the wheel?
Yeah.
Ah, jeez. Eddie, is there a roll of toilet paper out there?
Nope. So, how'd I do? Well, aside from the fact that the camera was tilted the whole time and your voice sometimes dropped into an accent that sounded eerily similar to mine, it was alright. Ed, you ever look at this wall behind the door? Can't say that I have. I've decorated every wall of this office except for this one. See, I wanted to do something special with it, I just never got the right inspiration. Oh man, you know what you should get all your concert tickets together and make a collage of every concert you've gone to. It's actually a really good idea. Yeah, you could shape the tickets like a dragon eating Justin Bieber's head. And there we go. Anyway, I have an idea. I want to start a project. See, my show only talks about new albums right as they come out, but I don't get to talk about stuff that means a lot to me. Albums that have really influenced me as a heavy metal fan. Stuff that meant a lot to the culture. Where are you going with this? This is going to be my wall of sound. I'm going to get vinyl copies of all my favorite albums, and I want you to do a special on each of them. Talk about the band before the album came out, its impact on the industry, a little bit on why I like it. I want this to be in-depth, informative, and entertaining, and there's nobody I'd rather have do it than you. I don't know what to say. Say yes, dumbass. Oh, right. Yes! Yes, I will. That's what I like to hear. I'm going to start the project off with my favorite album, metal or otherwise. Treat it with care. Yes, sir. Right away, sir.